It's like a fucking gape centipede, all right? Like, Keir Starmer opening his cave up for Trump and Trump doing the same for Putin. It's fucking disgusting. Is this just like the new wing of like retard fascism? The new movement?
We have a relationship like no other. It will always be that way. We will always be united. We'll always be together.
God, do you think before the 4 years is up, Trump's gonna want us to invade a country together? You know, for old time's sake, bro. Where are we gonna go?
Mr. President, it's a pleasure to welcome you to Chequers. This historic second state visit is a moment to celebrate the unique bond between our two countries. But today we've gone far beyond that. We've renewed the special relationship for a new era. The United Kingdom and the United States stand together today as first partners on defence.
Yes.
First partners in
Gape
trade,
up.
with the groundbreaking deal we struck in May.
He's gaping so hard.
And now with the new agreement that we've just signed this afternoon, we're confirming our status as the first partners in science and technology, ready to define...
I also just want to say thank you so much to the only channel on YouTube that has these conferences with good audio. Thank you so much. To Agenda Free TV, Steve Lookner, our spiritual leader in these trying times.
This century together, just as we did the last. This tech partnership has the power to change lives. It's our chance to ensure that technologies like AI, quantum, and others amplify human potential, solve problems, cure diseases, make us richer and freer, strengthen the cause of democracy, not tyranny. This is the territory on which the future will be won. So this partnership today is a signal of our determination to win this race together and to ensure it brings real benefits in jobs, in growth, in lower bills, to put more hard-earned cash in people's pockets at the end of each month. That's what we're determined to deliver. And we're bringing businesses with us. We've just come from a fantastic meeting with business leaders where we set out this vision. They have responded with new deals and investment, breaking every record that we have. £250 billion flowing both ways across the Atlantic. That is a record. Expected to create 15,000 jobs here in the United Kingdom. High-skilled jobs.
Voice crack. He's so nervous. He wants his tyrant fucking daddy-o to go soft on him, not to tariff him 8 billion% if he says the wrong thing about violent rhetoric on right. Oh, God.
In cutting-edge sectors where people can build careers for the long term, changing lives.
You guys you might not necessarily know the physiology of it, guys, okay? But when you are gaping this wide, when you have to maintain such an open gape, it will affect your diaphragmatic support and the amount of like air you can let through to let your words out, you know? It's not his fault.
Communities up and down our country. And look, while we shape this bond for a new era, the fundamentals have not changed. Security remains the cornerstone of this special relationship.
Why are you doing this? Listen, women in chat, okay? Fuck you. This is trying times. You're gonna all have to toughen up for the coming years, okay? If you can't handle me talking about Keir Starmer's incredibly cucked and submissive gaping hole for Donald Trump, then you're already fucked, okay? This is week 1 of training, okay? You will not laugh. You will not cry, okay? You will learn by the numbers, and I will teach you.
We have the deepest, most advanced defence relationship in the world. Our warriors train together and they fight together. Our industries build together. Everything from fast jets to the new AUKUS-class submarines. So now, as we drive up defence spending, we're going to sweep away the barriers to working together on new defence technologies so we can stay ahead of our adversaries. We're united in defence and security. Yes, absolutely. But we're also united in the pursuit of peace. We are working together to end the humanitarian catastrophe in the Middle East.
You're standing next to a guy who is bombing ships because of drug trafficking, dude. What the fuck? You are standing next to a guy who has the option to impound a ship and says, nah, let's just blast it from a fucking air cannon. Let's just deploy the fucking hovercrafts. We haven't used them before. They're cool.
Get the aid in, free the hostages, and ultimately bring Israel and the region back towards a comprehensive plan which can deliver peace and security for Israelis and Palestinians alike. We're also working together to end the killing in Ukraine. In recent days, Putin has shown his true face, mounting the biggest attacks since the invasion began, with yet more bloodshed, yet more innocents killed, unprecedented violations of NATO airspace. These are not the actions.
How about we're on like the 17th 2-week window that's going to end with Trump being like, I had no idea Putin would do such a terrible attack on the Ukrainian city. I thought he was up for peace, but it just seems to be that he's not as interested as I thought. Maybe we'll fix it. He's a great guy, We have a great relationship. 2 weeks, I give it 2 weeks. Fuck me, man. It's like a fucking... It's like a fucking gape centipede, all right? Like, Keir Starmer opening his cave up for Trump and Trump doing the same for Putin. It's fucking disgusting. It's the fucking fascism gape centipede. Oh my God! Working so hard for peace in the Gaza Strip, eh? Between the Israelis and the Palestinians. Working so hard for what everyone really wants. Everyone wants Elon Musk to be eating fucking melted cheese out of a bread bowl. Everyone wants to see a kid flying a Trump head balloon. Yeah. He's working so hard for this dream to basically make the ultimate fucking sex trafficking, drug trafficking, party animal, fucking tax, brothel, safe haven for all of the American tacky Dubai fucks and all the Gulf state Arab princes. He's working so hard for that.
Who wants peace. So we've discussed today how we can build our defences further, support Ukraine, and decisively increase the pressure on Putin to get him to agree a peace deal that will last. And President Trump, you have led the way here, and we will continue to stand and work together.
10:58. What? Why is someone linking me my own video? Oh, never mind. Someone's just
security
being intellectual.
And for peace. Mr. President, next year we'll celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States. We've come on a long journey together since 1776.
150, that's a good number to end it on, isn't it? Yo.
No exaggeration to say that the partnership our two nations have built has shaped the world from the beaches of Normandy to the founding of NATO, to the creation of technologies that have revolutionized our lives. Time and time again, it is British and American men and women side by side, changing the path of history and turning it towards our values, towards freedom, democracy, and the rule of law. In Britain, we take...
He's purity testing FBI workers in their fucking job interviews, asking them things like, who did you vote for? When did you start supporting President Trump? Man.
Huge pride in that. And let's be clear, this relationship is not just about history, it's about the future. It's about the benefits it delivers now and for decades to come, to make our people safer and better off, We've shown today that we're delivering those benefits, improving people's lives. So we will go into that anniversary year more optimistic than ever and more confident than ever about our two great nations and what they can achieve side by side. Thank you. And it is now my pleasure to give the floor to Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you very much, very much. Prime Minister Starmer, Melania and I are tremendously thankful for the wonderful hospitality that you and Lady Starmer have extended today at Chequers. Quite the place, I must say, quite the place. And we're grateful beyond words for the spectacular honor of the state visit yesterday at Windsor Castle, hosted by His Majesty King Charles III and Her Majesty Queen Camilla. These are two fantastic people. We will never forget it. As I said last night, the bond between our countries is like no other anywhere in the world. The United States and the United Kingdom have done more good.
Do you realize any party currently running would say something very similar in this situation? Yeah, of course. This the sad fucking state of affairs. Yeah, there's nothing Keir Starmer can do, right? It's not like he's going to go to war with Trump on behalf of the United Kingdom. Yeah, it is a very sad state of affairs that the only people who can save the United States are Americans and the Mossad operatives. Never mind. Didn't say that. Yes, I understand. It's just, it's okay to comment on how fucking sad it is, isn't it? It's so miserable.
This planet than any two nations in human history. That is thanks in large part to the traditions of British liberty, which grew up on these isles, these beautiful, magnificent isles, and were carried by our ancestors to the New World. We're forever joined, and we are forever friends, and we will always be friends. This enduring connection is why I was thrilled that the United Kingdom was the very first country with which we made a historic trade deal, and a very good trade deal. He's a tough negotiator. I think it was a better deal for you than us, but these are minor details.
It's a very good deal for both of us.
He's a great negotiator who will extend our unparalleled security alliance into the realm of economic security for the first time, and I look forward to finalizing it very soon. We'll have it done very quickly. We have also just signed a historic technology prosperity deal, one of a kind, to ensure our countries lead the next great technological revolution side by side. In fact, we just left the business leaders, the biggest in the world. Some are in this room right now. And that was quite a meeting we had on business and trade and technology. This trip has galvanized $350 billion in deals across many sectors, and we're committed to ensuring that the UK has a secure and reliable supply of the best AI hardware and software on Earth. And we supply that, and we'll make sure we supply it in quantity to the UK. And we also are joining forces on quantum computing and nuclear power, a natural partnership for close allies. The United States, as you probably have heard, is doing better than it has ever done in terms of business and investment. The stock market has hit a new high, as you know, and that's for many, many days out of our fairly short 8 months. And we seem to be hitting new highs, and I think we're going to do much better even as time goes by. Jobs are at a record, and most importantly, we have more than $17 trillion, $17 trillion, and this is during an 8-month period being invested.
Remember, he fired his jobs person because the job numbers weren't what he wanted. Oh, no. Well, I guess that's one way to get your jobs numbers up.
In the country, which is not only a record.
Do you think he maybe fired the first jobs person and then got a new jobs person and then just added their two numbers together to get the record jobs number? That's a good technique.
If you compare $17 trillion to the last year of the Biden administration, they did $250 billion. They didn't do $1 trillion for the 4-year period. We did $17 trillion of investment coming in. A lot of it's because of tariffs, and a lot of it's for a lot of other reasons, but there's never been anything like it. It's an economic superstar. That's what's become. It was mismanaged and badly handled for a long period of time, but it's not badly handled anymore. So that's a record. And remember, that's up until 8 months. We have another few months to go, and that number is going to get significantly higher, especially if we win a certain case that we're waiting to hear. That will be something like the world has never seen. I want to congratulate the United Kingdom on making the vital commitment to spend 5% of GDP on defense at the NATO summit this year. We've worked together very closely in so many ways. I'm very honored to tell you that we've solved 7 wars, wars that were unsolvable, wars that couldn't be negotiated or done. The U.S. has done 7 of them.
Is he going to list them? Which ones? He's going to mention like the Iran-Israel one, which started when he was president. Fuck me.
The one that I thought would be easiest would be because of my relationship with President Putin, but he's let me down.
Oh,
he's really let me down.
That's really surprising.
Who's going to be?
It's not like anyone else on Earth saw that coming. It's not like anyone else saw that coming, bub. Maybe another 2 weeks.
Russia and Ukraine, but we'll see how that turns out. But that turned out to be, I thought it might be among the easiest of the group. But we had settled just about every conflict, and as you know, we're working very hard on Israel and Gaza. All that's happening over there. Complex, but it's going to get done. It'll all get done right. And likewise, Russia and Ukraine will get done. But you never know in war. You know, war is a different thing. Things happen that are very opposite of what you thought. You thought you were going to have an easy time or a hard time, and it turns out to be the reverse. As we saw in the unforgettable parade yesterday at Windsor Castle, what a place it is. The British Armed Forces.
I'm sorry. Have there ever been? I know that back in the day, you know, a lot of these sort of like German conservatives, they did think the Nazis were kind of just like retarded fucking knuckle draggers who they could very easily put a leash on. I don't think they were this dumb though, were they? Is this just like the new wing of like retard fascism, the new movement?
Carry on. One of the finest military traditions in the world, one of the greatest marching bands, one of the most magnificent sights I've seen. I know that our service members look forward, and we do look so forward to working even more closely with yours as you push toward that 5% goal. And I think, Mr. Prime Minister, you're just about there. You're going to be there very quickly, along with a lot of other great countries. I want to thank NATO and our wonderful head of NATO, who's really worked very hard, Mark, for the job they've done. As you know, NATO was at 2% GDP, and they didn't pay it. Now they're at 5%, then they pay it. And we appreciate that. And we're sending a lot of weapons to NATO. NATO is paying for those weapons in full. But we're sending them, and we're...
You know, I'm wondering. In the UK, we have Hope Not Hate. And what they do is they find people who are at rallies doing fashy shit. People saying racist things, and then they find their employers and they get them fired. You know, it's like a whole thing. And the right wingers get really fucking mad about it. Do you think that's like a way that Dems can fight Republicans? It wouldn't be hard, right? It wouldn't be hard. I mean, if they're wanting to come for your freedom, Twitch, your freedom to talk shit on Steam, Rose City Antifa. Don't say that. Not Antifa. They already canceled them all, though. Are you fucking mental? They get away with it. Bro, that fucking Brian Kilmeade was advocating to... He was advocating to fucking kill homeless people. To execute them. And then some fucking shooters went in to homeless camps and shot up a bunch of people and killed... And like, I think 5 of them are critically injured. He just had to do a little, yeah, sorry, I said that, it was bad. Nothing happened. Nothing. These guys are so unaccountable. Brian, what?
We're doing a great job at getting them what they need, and we appreciate the fact that they're taking care of it, because the United States is into that war for $350 billion. And just really very sad. It just got out of control. They didn't know what they were doing. But over the generations, British and American warriors have shed their blood side by side in defense of liberty and freedom. And that's why it's so imperative that the United States and the United Kingdom stand together for these fundamental rights and values of the English-speaking world, and we've always stood together, and we will continue to. Just last week, a great American, Charlie Kirk, was heinously assassinated for speaking his mind. He was a great young man, incredible future. Some people said he might be president someday. I told him, I said, Charlie, I think you have a good shot someday at being president. And he just wanted to take care of youth. He loved youth. I've never seen anybody relate to youth like Charlie, and they related to him, and they're devastated. But I appreciate the many British citizens who have offered their condolences. And again, Charlie was a great person. We'll be going out to a service on Sunday. I'll be leaving with some of the people in this room just to celebrate Charlie and all that he's done. So incredible. Never seen anything like it. But I hope that together our nations can lead a movement to defend the glorious traditions of freedom on both sides of the Atlantic. There could be no greater tribute to the immortal bonds of affection and loyalty that unite the British and the American people for all of time. We have a relationship like no other. It will always be that way. We will always be united. We'll always be together.
God, do you think before the 4 years is up, Trump's going to want us to invade a country together, for old time's sake? Bro, where are we going to go?
And I just want to thank you, Mr. Prime Minister, for the great job I think you're doing. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, Q&A. Let's go. Hit him.
Thank you very much,
questions?
Mr. President. We're going to take some questions. I'll call 2 or 3 to start with, and then I'll pass over to the President. I've got Chris Mason from the BBC first. Chris.
Thank you both. Chris Mason, BBC News. Mr. President, the UK is expected to recognise a Palestinian state in the coming days as the killing in Gaza continues. It often seems that you're the only person that Israel will listen to. What more can you say to them to tell them to stop?
2 weeks.
Why is the UK's position on a Palestinian state, in your view, wrong? And Prime Minister, what will the recognition of a Palestinian state actually achieve? Is it not just gesture politics to appease people in your own party?
Oh,
Thank you.
fuck.
Well, Chris, let me just start with that because we discussed this amongst other things. We had the best part of an hour, I think, upstairs earlier today, just one-to-one, going through a number of affairs, world affairs, in private. And we absolutely agree on the need for peace and a roadmap because the situation in Gaza is intolerable. The hostages have been held for a very, very long time, and they must be freed. And we need aid to get into Gaza at speed. And so it's within that context of a plan for peace, which we're working hard on, which not only did we discuss this morning, but our 2 teams have been working together on, the question of recognition needs to be seen. And so it's part of that overall package, which hopefully takes us from the appalling situation we're in now to the outcome of a safe and secure Israel, which we do not have, and a viable Palestinian state. Thank you.
Well, simply, I want the hostages released now, right now, not 1, 2, we'll give you 3 more tomorrow. And, like it's been, but
That
we're
is
the ones
Mickey
that got all
Mouse
the hostages
bullshit.
released. We got many, many came to the Oval Office, and I've heard stories like I've never thought even possible. There was no humanity, no anything. I said to them,
Like you've never seen.
was there any warmth shown during this stay? Like they offered you a little extra meal, they gave you a little smile, and they said, don't worry, you'll be okay. And every one of them said, not even a little bit. Amazing, to think that during this stay, long stay, in some cases, we had a man the other day, 451 days he was there. I always ask that question. And was there any warmth shown? Just a little word of, encouragement. And the answer is every time, absolutely not. I'm shocked to hear it, because in the worst cases, there's always somebody that comes through. We have to remember October 7th, one of the worst, most violent days in the history of the world, not just there, in the history of the world. And I got to see the tapes, and I wish I didn't see them, actually. But I got to see them. And I want an end. I want the hostages released. And I think it's going to be okay, but it has been a brutal period of time. But this has been going on for a long time. This is not something that's over the last year, 2 years. This has been for decades and decades. But we want it to end. We have to have the hostages back immediately. That's what the people of Israel want. They want them back. And we want the fighting to stop, and it's going to stop. But a lot of bad things. Hamas said that they're going to put the hostages up as bait. They're going to put the hostages
A lot
in
of
front
bad
any
things,
attack.
guys. A lot of bad things.
And that's pretty brutal. We haven't heard that one in a long time. So we have to remember that. So I have a disagreement with the Prime Minister on that score. Okay? One of our few disagreements, actually.
Great. Can I take Jack from the Sun? Jack.
What a fucking useless, nothing fucking statement. Oh my God.
Thank you both. Jack Elson from The Sun.
Summarize Trump's points there, please. It's bad. It's very bad. Very bad. Like nothing you've ever seen. Bad.
Mr. President, in the 9 months you've been in office, you've been incredibly successful in all but eliminating crossings on your southern border.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, illegal migration is at record levels in Britain. The Prime Minister is trying to tackle that.
God!
What advice would you give to the man standing next to you on trying to stop illegal migration in Britain?
Just
And
end the asylum process, bro. Just make it that if you're a refugee and you come to the UK in a boat, you just fucking drown. What? Just end the asylum. Yeah, just get more boats. Bigger boats to stop the boats. That is basically what Trump did, right? He just made it that you can't claim asylum. You're fucked. You're toast. Languishing.
Prime Minister, if I can just ask, the President is all about drill baby drill in terms of trying to secure American energy and cut bills for Americans. Meanwhile, you are turning Britain's back on oil and gas in favour of renewable energies, such as wind turbines. Why do you think that you are right and he is wrong?
So we had millions of people flowing in, totally unchecked, totally unvetted from the Biden administration.
Biden.
25 million, in my opinion.
25 million.
Would be about
I thought it was 20 million. I swear, but it was fucking 10 million at one point. This is like higher than the estimated total number of irregulars in the United States. Full stop. 25 million. In my opinion. That's a good one. That's a good qualifier. In my opinion. Well, okay. Well, in my opinion, this is a fucking shoe, but you know, it's not. It's just not. There's no getting around it.
I mean, they came from prisons, they came from mental institutions, they were gang members, they were drug dealers. They came from the Congo, they came from all parts of South America, they came from everywhere. Think of it, prisons from the Congo being released into the United States, prisons opened up in Venezuela and many other countries pouring into the United States. And I couldn't believe it. One of the reasons I decided to run. I decided to run because I don't want to be controversial, but you see what's happened and you see all the information that's come out. We won in 2020 big. And I said, let's run, we got to run, because I saw what was happening. And the worst thing that I saw was all of these people. You know, we've already solved inflation, we've solved prices. Oil is way down, energy is way down in the United States. But what I saw happening with millions of people pouring into our country, I couldn't stand to watch it. And we've done a great job. Nobody, if you've seen the last, I appreciate your question, by the way, nobody, absolutely zero, and I'm not even sure that's possible, but it's a very liberal group that come out with those statistics. The last 3 months.
Fucking things. God, you said. Like, bro.
We had zero. From millions of people a year ago, we had zero people enter our country illegally. And we do have people coming in legally through a legal process and testing and lots of other things. I think it's very important, and we speak about it. And I think your situation is very similar. You know, you have people coming in, and I told the Prime Minister I would stop it. And it doesn't matter if you call out the military, it doesn't matter what means you use, but it's going to destroys countries from within. And we're actually now removing a lot of the people that came into our country. It's a very hard chore. We were given a very, very bad hand. Millions of people came in from prisons and mental institutions. We have to remove them. And we are removing them. We have no choice. And I feel very strongly about it. Thank you very much.
Jack, let me just deal with the question of returns, because this is obviously an issue we're taking incredibly seriously. We've struck a number of deals both on cooperation with other countries, because this is a problem right across Europe, to tackle the problem of actually breaking up the gangs that are running this trade. We have had a record number of returns, over 35,000 now since we came into office. That's the highest number for the best part of 10 years. We struck the returns arrangement with France, and notwithstanding the challenges to that scheme, which you've seen in the last few days, a flight went off at 6:15 this morning, successfully returning someone under that scheme. So that is an important step forward. Obviously,
oh God, that's more than Rwanda. They got more than Rwanda.
There's no silver bullet here. There's a range of things that need to be done. But given the challenges of returning people...
yes, I understand that when Trump says mental institutions, when he's referring to migrants, I think it's because he thinks asylum seekers has something to do with people who came out of asylums. Yeah, I know. There's no other explanation.
It's important that we're able to prove it can be done. It was done early this morning, so I can confirm that that flight went successfully, and I'm pleased about that. Now we need to ramp that up at scale, which was always envisaged under the scheme, but it's very important that we have been able to prove that the proof of concept, if you like, that this can be done, and we'll continue in that way. On the question of energy, firstly, let me be really clear that I am absolutely determined to ensure that the price and cost of energy comes down, so that bills come down both for individuals, for families, with their household bills, but also for business, because this is so important. The mix will include oil and gas for many years to come from the North Sea. We've been clear about that for some time, but we also need to mix that with renewables, and it's the mix that's really important. And the approach I've taken on this is the same approach that I take to many other things, a pragmatic approach. Thank you, Jack.
I would like to say that we inherited the worst inflation in the history of our country. We had inflation.
No, you fucking didn't. It was under control. America handled it better than any other G7 country, OECD country even. Oh, fuck, man.
Of which we've really never said. They say 48 years, and I'll accept that, but I really don't. We had the worst inflation in the history of our country. And we had a expression that I used a lot, drill, baby, drill. And as you know, we brought fuel way down, the prices way down. And we don't do wind because wind is a disaster. It's a very expensive joke, frankly.
He just hates wind turbines because... This is a really old story. One of the reasons this guy hates wind turbines is because when he tried to set up his fucking golf course in Aberdeen, his view from the 18th hole was wind turbines, and he tried to get them shut down. He tried to stop the government from building new wind turbines in front of his fucking shitty golf course. That turned out to be a flop, by the way.
And we got our energy prices way down.
Also the whales. Oh yeah, because he thinks they make whales upset. What the fuck do you think putting a bunch of ships into the sea and drilling does to whales? Holy fuck.
Put the inflation way down, and now we have very little inflation, and we have a very, very strong economy. So that was very important. Drill, baby, drill. And you have a great asset here, and we spoke about it. It's called the North Sea. The North Sea oil is...
Hey.
And I hope, because I love this country, you know. My mother was born in Scotland, and the Hebrides... Stornoway,
Let's
that's
go.
Syria, Scotland. We were talking about it. And I want this country to do well. And you have great assets that you're going to start using, I believe, under this Prime Minister.
Thank you.
Woohoo.
I've got Matthew from The Economist. Matthew.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Mr. President, you say that President Putin has let you down. Have negotiations run out of road? And what are your next steps to compel an end to this war?
Well, he has let me down. I mean, he's killing many people, and he's losing more people than he's killing. I mean, frankly, the Russian soldiers are being killed at a higher rate than the Ukrainian soldiers. But, yeah, he said, let me down. I don't like to see. It's death. You know, it doesn't affect the
He's an islander. Well, the Hebrides are islands. Isn't his mum from fucking Lewis or something? The Isle of Lewis. But, yeah, it does make a real fucking... It's a real problem, that connection. Because it means he's involved in Scotland. Which is really annoying. Fuck.
States. We have, other than unless you end up in a world war over this thing, you could. This was a thing that would have never happened had I been president. If I were president, it would have never happened. And it didn't happen.
Oh, yeah, it would have never happened.
Most people agree it didn't happen. Nor was...
Yeah, they were still fighting. They were still fighting when you were president for the entire time. Crimea remained annexed the entire time. You gave them a few javelins. Big fucking whoop.
Close to happening. And I spoke to President Putin about Ukraine. It was the apple of his eye.
And he told me that he wouldn't have invaded if I were president. And that made me really like him and want to negotiate a ceasefire that's quite friendly to him. Yeah, it all makes sense, isn't it? There's no logical holes in that argument.
Time it was, but he would have never done what he did, except that he didn't respect the leadership of the United States. They just went through the Afghanistan total disaster for no reason whatsoever. We're going to leave Afghanistan, but we're going to leave it with strength and dignity. And we're going to keep Bagram, the big air base, one of the biggest air bases in the world. We gave it to them for nothing. We're trying to get it back, by the way. Okay, that could be a little breaking news. We're trying to get it back because they need things from us. We want that base back. But one of the reasons we want the base is, as you know, it's an hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. So a lot of things are happening, but I am very disappointed in the fact that that one's not settled. To think that we settled Abberaijan and Albania, as an example. It was going on for years.
Abberaijan. He called it Abberaijan. He had a moment. No. Abberaijan. Do you think it's because Aberdeen was in his head? He had Aberdeen in his head and he just went to Abberaijan? Fucking Abberaijan. Excuse me. Fuck me. Abberaijan. It's this moment.
Against Kate's law, and he voted for Obama.
Abberaijan.
Was never going to be settled. If you remember, the Prime Minister and the presidents, they were there for many years. They said, when they were in my office, we settled. And they started off at both sides of the Oval Office, so far away. I didn't know you could be so far away. And as we were together for an hour, they kept getting closer, closer. And by the time we finished, we all hugged each other.
Go back and re-listen.
An hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. So a lot of things are happening, but I am very disappointed in the fact that that one's not settled. To think that we settled Abberaijan and Albania, as an example, it was going on for years. It was never going to be settled. If you remember, the Prime Minister and the presidents, they were there for many years. They said, when they were in my office, we settled.
Unbelievable.
And they started off at both sides of the Oval Office, so far away. I didn't know you could be so far.
Yeah, he's also got the countries wrong. I was thinking, was it? I thought it was Azerbaijan. Yeah, and Armenia. Whatever, bro.
Away. And as we
were
together for an hour, they kept getting closer.
Missing the forest for the. I was a bit distracted by Abberaijan. Okay, Abberaijan and Albania, the famous conflict, intractable, they say.
And by the time we finished, we all hugged each other. And one said, I've been in this position for 22 years, and all I've done is kill their people. The other was there for 7 years, and all he did was kill their people. And we got it settled. And we did others, as you know. The Congo, we settled the Congo with Rwanda. That was going on, and that was a machete war. There was some war, many people, close to 10 million people killed. We got that settled. My biggest disappointment, but it's, look, we did 7, and most of them were not thought to be settleable. We did India and we did Pakistan. That's 2 nuclear. That was purely.
What do you mean you did India and you did Pakistan? What, the 2 fucking nuclear powers that have no incentive to escalate with each other ever? Fuck me. Fuck.
Trade. You want to trade with us, you're going to have to get along. And they were going at it hot and heavy. But the Russia situation, I hope we're going to have some good news for you coming up. But again, it doesn't affect the United States. And it doesn't so much affect you. Of course, you are a lot closer to the scene than we are. We have a whole ocean separating us. But I will say this, it's millions of people have died in that war, millions of souls. And they're not American, the soldiers, mostly soldiers, as you know. The soldiers are being killed at levels nobody's seen since the Second World War. But they're being killed. And I feel I have an obligation to get it settled for that reason. Thank you.
And just to add on that question, because we have to put extra pressure on Putin. And it's only when the president has put pressure on Putin that he's actually shown any inclination to move. So we have to ramp that pressure up. I think it's important to have this conversation in the context of what's happened in recent weeks. We saw damage and bombing to the British Council in Kyiv. These are targets that it was thought until recently were not targets that would be hit. The British Council, the European Union Embassy, the Council of Ministers, where President Zelensky's ministers' work was hit. Again, these were thought to be places that wouldn't be hit. And then the incursion into Poland last week. And if you put that together, what you can see is either an emboldenment or at least an increased recklessness on Putin's part. And that's why I said earlier that they're not the actions of someone who wants peace. So we have to ramp up. And we discussed earlier today, we have built the coalition of the willing with British leadership and French leadership, stepping up with military planning in the seas, in the sky, on the ground, and ramping up what we do with the Ukrainians themselves. And of course, that taken with an American guarantee is now an example, I think, of the challenge of Europe stepping up to the plate, which it has done in the last few months, to show through what we and the French have done, that we're prepared to take the lead in this and take the necessary measures.
But that's a war that could have been a third world war, and I don't think we're going to be there now. But that was heading to a third world war.
Oh, obviously. That's true. I heard that on Tim Pool.
Shame it is. What a shame it is.
Mr. President, do you want to call some of the
I would love to call
outlets?
a few of them. Bev, do you want to have a question?
Okay, come back to you.
GB News.
GP News. Oh God, they get to go to these fucking meetings now as well. Oh fuck me, man. They were such a flop. What happened to them? Have they ever unflopped? Do people watch it now?
Having been in DC for a few weeks, it's really interesting to see how you run the country as a proud Christian leader. And it really begs the question to the Prime Minister, if you don't mind, are we still a Christian country? But also...
when you say we, are you talking here or...
Here. The
Here?
UK. I'm still British. I might live in America, I'm still British. But also...
I can't give you that answer.
That's for the Prime Minister. But also, despite what we talked about in Scotland a few weeks ago, we still have 12,000 people a year here being arrested for social media posts, for free speech violations. Does that not remain an important area that there is still a lot of disagreement on?
I'd like to have you answer that.
Yeah, look, I mean, in terms of... I was Christian, so that is... my church has been all my life.
Obviously, yeah.
We are, that is
good Protestant man.
Our informal constitution. Of course, we celebrate many other faiths as well, and I'm really proud that we're able to do so as a country. And on free speech, That has long lived in this country, free speech. It's one of the founding values of the United Kingdom, and we protect
Trump's
it.
not sure about that because he went on Twitter and saw about 1 billion fucking right-wing American posts about Graham Linehan getting censored for inciting violence on the internet, which is illegal, even in America.
Jealously and fiercely, and always will. We will bear down on any limits on free speech. I draw a limit between free speech and the speech of those that want to peddle paedophilia and suicide social media to children. And therefore, I'm all for free speech. I'm also for protecting children from things that will harm them, paedophiles, those that peddle suicide, which has had a terrible consequence for individual, particularly teenagers. And so that's the balance we strike. But we have had freedom of speech in this country for a very long time, and we will always protect it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Brian, please.
Thank you. Prime Minister, it's good to see you again. You have a beautiful country. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very
Two
much.
questions. One, just recently, President Trump labeled Antifa domestic terrorists. Would you consider doing something like that in your country?
Well, we obviously will take decisions for ourselves. I don't want to comment on the decisions of the President, but we take our decisions ourselves.
And my question to you, President Trump, is there any update on the auto pay?
Dude, this guy's good. I like this Mockler guy is very much capturing my feelings now. I just got a mother of two evicted for making fun of Jimmy Kimmel's misfortunes. He's doing the whole, oh God. Free Jimmy Kimmel. All your personal information will be on the Kimmel Tracker website. You cancelled the moderate. Fire Brian Kilmeade. Cancel Jesse Waters. The comedy is legal crowd quite literally made comedy illegal for moderates who disagree with Trump. Yeah. If MAGA Republicans want to stop funding Ukraine, they should go to Poland themselves and start training for Russia's initiation of World War III. We have 12,000 names, addresses, and employers of people making light of the Jimmy Kimmel situation. He was here to make you laugh and you didn't want him. Now you're stuck with us. Get ready to send your kids over to Europe if you don't get behind Ukraine immediately. Russia will continue to taunt Europe until World War III begins. We need to stand up to them now. We are Jimmy Kimmel. They just made the movement stronger than ever before. Wait. Is it? He's not going far enough. That's the problem. Because he's American and there are still consequences. I wonder what I can do with my Scottish privilege. I need a transcript. Okay. Let's see. Because I'm just kind of fucking annoyed. I'm just really fucking irritated by these people. Okay. What's a good name for a Jimmy Kimmel fan? Kimmeloid. Kimmler. Okay. Okay, guys, let's get some ones for yay and twos for nay, okay? You have no idea of the fire that you've ignited within this viewer. The cries of this Kimmler will echo around the world like a battle cry. Is that too much? Not too much. Remember, it's MAGA. There's a meh. Okay. It's never too much for MAGA. Okay, let's go. Unsure. Good! You only live once, alright? You only live once.
Yeah. It's just gotten worse from their standpoint. The people that used it, and in particular one person, was never told by Biden to do it, only spoke to Biden twice, and that was just talking about the weather, not talking about any order. And he was taking orders from people other than Joe Biden. Joe Biden wasn't giving those orders. You know, Joe Biden didn't believe in open borders. He didn't. I've known him for a long time. He was never the brightest bulb in the ceiling, as we know. You can go back 40 years ago and you'll see that. Go back and take a look at the hearings on Justice Thomas, and you'll see that very much. But he didn't believe in open borders and all of this nonsense that they're peddling now, which is why they're not in office any longer. It's a shame. The auto pen was illegal. It was illegally used. He never gave the orders. He never told them what to do. And I guess the only one he signed, or one of the few he signed, was the pardon for his son. But you had the congressman who, when they got the information, they found out they were guilty. And they deleted and destroyed all information, everything. You couldn't get any of it. They found out that Nancy Pelosi actually was offered the 10,000 soldiers.
You need to make this tweet worth it, though, guys. If this gets no traction, I'm gonna feel really stupid. Okay. You need to make this worth it. Okay. Because that was quite mean of me.
He turned them down. They found out many things that were very bad. So they deleted and destroyed all information. You talk about freedom of the press and freedom of speech. How about that one? And there's not a thing. This is after a year and a half of hearings. They destroyed everything. And somebody's got to be held responsible. So Biden, what he did is they knew, I don't think he knew, but somebody knew. I don't think Biden had a clue about anything, if you want to know the truth. But they gave a pardon to those Congress people. They gave a pardon. Those people are so guilty. They gave a pardon, but Biden didn't know about it. The people, whether it's Lisa or any of those people in there that really ran it, I know them all. And they're sick people. They're smart people. They're very smart. They're probably brilliant, but they're sick in ideology. And they were running the auto pen, and it was totally illegal what he did. And I hope it's going to be so adjudged.
You want to take one more, then I'll
Okay.
get back to British.
Let's see. Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. In the deal that you're working on for the Chinese to sell TikTok
Yeah.
to an American buyer,
Yeah.
are the Americans going to have to come up with their own algorithm, or are they going to continue to use the successful but addictive Chinese algorithm?
So what we're doing, and we're speaking to President Xi on Friday to see if we can finalize something on TikTok, because there is tremendous value, and I hate to give away value, but I like TikTok. It helped get me elected. In fact, Charlie said, "Sir, you ought to get on TikTok. You'd be great." I said, "Really? Tell me about TikTok." And we, as you know, we did unbelievably well with youth, like at a level that no Republican has ever even dreamt of. And in what, look, I think we won it for a lot of reasons, but that was a reason we won the election by such a big number. TikTok has tremendous value. The United States has that value in its hand because we're the ones that have to approve it. I specifically get the right to approve it. The people that are investing in it are among the greatest investors in the world, the biggest, the richest, and they'll do a great job. And we're doing it in conjunction with China. But we are getting, the United States is getting a tremendous fee plus, I call it a fee plus, for just making the deal. And I don't want to throw that out the window. I can say this, that you'll have a lot of very unhappy youth. And I use TikTok very legitimately.
That's you guys.
Very straight, just statements every day, little statements, short statements. Sir, make it short, please. And TikTok Jack, we call him. It was pretty good. Did a good job for me, I guess. But no, I'd rather reap the benefits. I mean, the kind of money we're talking about is very substantial. And it'll be owned by all American investors and, the best investors and the, very rich people and companies are going to be owning it. Very, very straight, very legitimate companies, and really companies that love America. So they're going to be owning it. It's a big thing. And on a much bigger scale, and probably that's why we were able to get that, but on a much bigger scale, we're pretty close to a deal. We may do an extension with China, but it's an extension based on the same terms that we have right now, which are pretty good terms.
And my question for Prime Minister Starmer, if you feel so strongly about officially recognizing Palestine for statehood, why are you waiting for President Trump to leave the country? Why can't you just do it right now? And isn't there a risk in rewarding Hamas with that?
Well, let me be really clear about Hamas. They're a terrorist organisation
Oh!
who can have no part in any future governance in Palestine. And
Oh my god, it's so fucking weak. That's my boy.
what happened on October the 7th was the worst attack since the Holocaust. We have extended family in Israel. I understand firsthand the psychological impact that had across Israel.
Bro, what the fuck is happening here? Why does Melania look like a fucking... Why does she look like a lamppost? What's she doing? What the fuck is this? It's like, I'm trying to think of a good picture of her. Do you guys know who I'm talking about, right? Who I'm gonna pull up. They've never been seen in the same room, have they? It's like Cousin It. No? We could do, there's probably better. There's probably something better in there. Fuck. Fuck me. How old are you, Loner? What?
I know exactly where I stand in relation to Hamas. Hamas, of course, don't want
I'm a youth, okay? I'm Zoomer. This is Zoomer Agenda-Free TV.
a two-state solution. They don't want peace. They don't want a ceasefire. I'm very clear where I stand on Hamas. Okay. On the question of recognition, I made my position clear at the end of July as to the timing, which has got nothing to do with this state visit, and I've discussed it with the President, as you would expect amongst two leaders who respect each other and like each other and want to bring about a better solution in the best way that we can. Thank you so much. Can I go back then to Robert at ITV?
Robert Peston, ITV. Mr. President, you uniquely, you alone in the whole world, have the power to persuade Prime Minister Netanyahu to stop the demolition of Gaza City, to stop the starvation of Palestine, and to stop the killing of civilians. If not now, when will you exercise that power to tell him to stop?
Sure.
And then for both of you,
But you do understand about October 7th.
Of course,
You
Abberaijan,
do understand.
believe me, I
One of
understand
the
about it.
worst days
Obviously.
in the history of humanity. What happened, I have seen the tapes. Babies that are 4 months old, and just chopped up to pieces. And you've seen the tapes, and I've seen the tapes. You're a professional, and so am I.
Oh, that's why Twitter was like, well, actually, there was only one baby. I don't get it. Like, I don't think there was any baby chopped up. I don't know about children, like preteens. But for some, I don't know why. Why have these fucking crazy ass baby counters? Why do they still keep saying only one baby died? It wasn't one baby. There was a fucking Bedouin baby who was shot in the fucking womb. There's a Bedouin baby that was shot in the womb, and then while their mother was in labor, and then they were pronounced dead like shortly after the baby was evacuated. Fucking freaks, man. They're undercounting the baby deaths by 50%. It's crazy. Mental.
And people forget about October 7th. I can't forget about it. So I want it to end, but I want the hostages back. I don't want.
Oh shit. Okay, listen. One for the boys. Okay, I'm gonna be doing a bit. I've been doing a bit less of it recently. I'm gonna continue in that direction, but it's a very brief slop o'clock. I'm sorry. This isn't even like I'm not even firing the first shot here, bro. This guy, this retard, is literally. He's like talking. He's coming our way in the middle of a holocaust of liberals. Every corporation is instantly folding to the admin, even when it's over an utterly inoffensive joke the admin doesn't like. Liberals need to wake up. We have to fight back. These wealthy assholes aren't going to stand up for anything beyond their bottom line. Dude, I worked harder to keep this fucking fat fuck out of office than you did. And I'm not even fucking American, okay? You didn't even tell your audience who to vote for. You didn't even tell them to get out and vote. Oh my God. And the fact that he's like, getting all these clips circulated about him, and he looped me into it with me and Dan, saying that we were part of the fascist deplatforming project, which I've never, ever in my life done. I've never tried to get Hasan deplatformed. Never said he should be deplatformed. The most I've ever said is that if Twitch were consistent, he would have been banned. That's all. That's all. This guy will literally, he's going to be fucking walking into the camps, pointing backwards at like me, Dan, and Destiny, and being like, you did this to me. You gave me this fucking disease. You gave me this cancer. You gave me these accelerated turbo AIDS. You literally said he should be banned because of his views on China. I am so glad you mentioned that, you dishonest piece of shit. Let's have a look at what I said, eh? Did you think I said would have or should have? Wouldn't you do the same? No. The most I've said is that they might have played a slight, insignificant contributing role to helping Trump get elected because they produced voter apathy in their audiences. I don't think they made the difference. No. They didn't help. That's just a fact. Let's see. Hey, MJ, are you ready to gobble those words? What was it over? Was it here? It was this one. Now, was I saying should be or would be because of a consistency argument? I wonder. If I put in would have, where was it? Oh, okay. China simping. Like, tanky fucking, like, no genocide, ooh-woo, fucking, like, simping for the CCP and shit. And he doesn't do anything about that. Clearly he doesn't, because I know he doesn't. I know Hasan doesn't believe in that stuff himself. I think if Twitch was really concerned about like bad community policing or bad management or like carelessness and all that, like, yeah, Hasan would have been gone way before Destiny. Because it was about brigading, wasn't it? Before that, it was about brigading in LSF threads. Huh. Do you know why I remember this video? Because I believe this is the first ever video that Bad and Panada made about me, was him saying that I wanted Hasan to be deplatformed when I said would have. Anyway, that's okay. You guys, you're all fucking liars. What can I say? Liars or people who fall for liars, whichever one. Ugh! Where are they? Where's this person? You still here? Would have. Okay, back to the boys. Even if you said should, you are correct. I disagree. I've never held that position. I'm a free speech cuck.
want the hostages used as human shields, which is what Hamas is threatening to do.
But as soon as they're back, that's the moment you will tell Netanyahu
Well,
to stop.
it would certainly help, but I have to have the hostages back. And I don't want them back piecemeal, as I said before. I want them back.
And on a separate issue, free speech, your Vice President Vance said that free speech is under attack in the UK. Do you agree with him? And Prime Minister, we saw the dismissal of a very well-known chat show host in America last night, Mr. Kimmel.
Oh, wait, I didn't even see what Hutch was saying. I got distracted. Why are you yelling at liberals? We told you Trump was going to be uniquely horrible, and you couldn't be bothered to tell your audience that it was a good idea to vote for Kamala in order to stop him from winning. He clarified himself. He doesn't... Oh, no, we're not... Sorry, we're not letting you authoritarian psychos get away with this shit anymore. You need to admit you were wrong, AMJ. Excuse me, where is that? Where's the I was wrong? I believed a psychopathic fucking liar, rather than check for myself the difference between the words would have and should have. Can I get that, please? Waiting. We want some honesty in this community, okay? We need to go forward. Why does it lie? Why does it lie? Yes? No, give me a fucking full sentence, cunt. That's so much to ask? What a... Oh, there we go. That wasn't too difficult, was it? Yeah. That wasn't too difficult. Okay. What else do you believe? I'm joking. Hey, Sev, how's it going?
Hey, what's up? Keep this energy up, please.
Yeah?
Yeah, I want you to be like this. Stand up for your beliefs. Good job. Good job.
What were you
I'm
referring
proud
to
of
in
you.
particular?
This retard in the chat.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
actually, like make them own up to the fucking
You
shit
do.
they
It's a
fucking say
thing
about
that people. You notice that it's so. It really hit me with the MAGA people, right? Because they're like, "Oh, do you condemn the Charlie Kirk shit?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course I do." So can we talk about Trump's rhetoric or about the killing of this person or this person or this person? It's like, oh, well, actually, I suppose if you look at the situation with the voters and the Ray Epps, they can never.
No, it's something
yeah.
that fucking infuriates me too, because obviously you know how I relate to it. You probably already can figure. It's the same fucking shit. It's like, but it's like very plain out. You already know about how it is here.
Yeah.
Have you guessed already?
Wait, no. What?
No.
Say that again.
For example, like as a Palestinian who lives in Israel, it's like fucking this dumb shit where you immediately have this to disavow any fucking violence from Palestinians. But when you talk about the fucking issues from the IDF, like 50 excuses pop out before you fucking hear like a condemnation of like horrible shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about this community. I'm talking about like in person. Like I've had these fucking things pop out super often.
Yeah. It's just you need to. It's like. It's something that you always have to remember because people are so good at just avoiding like any like if you notice that someone's doing that, they're avoiding those concessions, even if regardless of how many you made to them. Yeah, there's like a real you need to be really aware of that. Anyway,
I believe in you. You should keep doing this. This is great.
Okay, thank you. Take care. Bye bye. Okay, now that we've got our Hassan Bad viewers, all right, let's go.
Free speech more under attack in Britain or America?
Well, Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. So, you can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, on the question of Charlie Kirk, can I just...
You have no idea the fire you've awoken in the belly of this widow. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel viewer. Holy fuck, man.
express how shocking that is, I think, to everybody who believes in free speech and in democracy.
Yep.
And it sent shockwaves through the world. And I know that he was a friend of the president, and I reached out straight away to the president because I understood how impactful it would be on him and his family. And we all need to be absolutely clear about that. Whatever our political views, it is shocking and is to be condemned. On free speech, not much to add to the answer I gave earlier.
We want to be Germany in our acceptance of responsibility, not Japan.
Ooh, good one with a historical reference. Thank you, Lawson, for the $10.
Very long time. It is part of who we are as a country, and it is the values that we fought for. We fought for it during the Second World War alongside each other. So we need no reminding of the importance of free speech in this country. Thank you, Robert. And I go to Beth for the final question, please. Beth.
Thank you so much.
Sky.
Thank you, Beth Rigby, Sky News. Thank you, Prime Minister. If I could start with you. Prime Minister, President Trump has said he's ready to impose major sanctions on Russia if NATO countries stop purchasing Russian oil. He's got a point, hasn't he? Is that what you now believe is needed to bring Putin properly to the table? And what's your message to the President on US sanctions? And Mr. President, if I may, the King praised your personal commitment last night to finding solutions to the world's most intractable conflicts. You have invested much of your time and effort in Ukraine, but even as you seek to broker a deal, President Putin is escalating the war, he's firing drones into NATO airspace. You say he has let you down. Was it a mistake to invite him to Alaska? Do you regret it?
No.
And is it time to squeeze him, sir, and scare him and impose sanctions? And
yeah, it's
finally,
time to stop being such a gaped fucking bitch, Trump, eh?
if I may, the elephant in the room, Lord Mandelson, he is no longer the ambassador. Do you have some sympathy with him that he lost his job over historic links to Jeffrey Epstein? Thank you very much, sir.
I don't know him, actually. I had heard that. And
Guys, stop bullying the AMJ person, okay? I forgive them. They owned up to their shit. Takes courage, takes guts.
I think maybe the Prime Minister would be better speaking of that. That was a choice that he made, and I don't know. What is your answer to that?
Well, I mean, it's very straightforward. Some information came to light last week which wasn't available when it was appointed, and I made a decision. That's
God!
Very clear. On the question of the pressure on Putin, very clear. On the question of the pressure on Putin and on Russia, which is obviously really important. Look, I think it is a challenge to Europe. There are a number of European countries which are too reliant on almost energy from Russia. But we do need to bear down the UK actually, obviously, is almost.
Excuse me, what?
One at all, but we do need to bear down and work with our European counterparts here. There are one or two countries, I think, that do need to look again at the question of energy. There's no one silver bullet here. We do have to have a wider suite of sanctions, which we've put in place a number of times, working across Europe and with the United States. And, of course, we must, and we are, making sure that Ukraine is in the strongest want a ceasefire. And we talk about what might happen after a ceasefire. We mustn't forget that Ukraine needs our support now. We've said we stand with Ukraine from the start to finish, and that means we must continue to supply them with what they need in order to fight this war, which, of course, resulted from and is a result of Russian aggression. We have particularly done the sort of leadership role in the coalition of the willing, so that if there is a ceasefire and if there is a deal, and I do hope there is, that is then lasting and not then broken, because given previous history, I don't trust Putin. Thank you.
Very simply, if the price of oil comes down, Putin's going to drop out. He's going to have no choice. He's going to drop out of that war. And when I found out that the European nations were buying oil from Russia, and as you know, I'm very close to India. I'm very close to the Prime Minister of India. I spoke to him the other day, wished him a happy birthday. We have a very good relationship. He put out a beautiful statement, too. We have, but I said, I sanctioned them. China's paying a very large tariff right now to the United States. But I'm willing to do other things, but not when the people that I'm fighting for are buying oil from Russia. If the oil price comes down, very simply, Russia will settle. And the oil price is way down. We got it way down. We're drilling, and we produce more oil than anybody else in the world. We're doing a lot. But I was disappointed to see that, and the Prime Minister was disappointed to see that. And it wasn't him. It was other countries. And you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't. That's not playing fair with the United States, and we can't have that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I don't suppose those deals, they definitely didn't come within 90 days. The deals that he was going to get through the tariffs, that never happened, did he? Actually, he got kind of fucking wrecked by Xi Jinping, because the Chinese economy is in such a way that obviously it's like central planning. They can, to a degree, central government, so they can hold out, it seems, in that dick measuring contest for a bit longer. Oh, God.
Indeed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.